We are back at the Butler Center, St. Catherine University, as we continue our coverage of the St. Catherine Martin Luther King Classic. Mike Peden and Alex Nagel, we're with you the rest of the day. And this is going to be a fun one, Alex. The Duluth Marshall Hilltoppers and the Holy Angel Stars. Duluth Marshall with one of the rising talents in the state, Chloe Johnson. You may recall last year, Chloe went all the way to all Iowa Attack, played on their 11th grade team in AAU, and she is thought to be the next big name to come out of Minnesota prep basketball.
That wouldn't surprise me. I've been looking forward to this one as well ever since you gave me the outlay of the schedule here today. This should indeed be a fun one. I really like this Holy Angels team. We covered them here back in December, right before the holiday break, and you can see that there's a lot of potential with this team. I really love Kiera O'Rourke, great all-around player. You can do a lot of stuff with her, and she knows how to get her teammates involved really well.
We have a couple of contrasts here in this one, Alex, because the Holy Angels, when you look at their stat lines, nobody has more than 11.9 points per game. They don't really have that central presence like they had in years past, but they picked up some wins along the way. And on the Duluth Marshall side, Chloe Johnson, she's 7th in the state in scoring. She leads the state in assists. She has 6 30-point games, 4 triple-doubles, and she's an 8th grader. Makes me feel like I was a total underachiever at that age.
That's just, when you think about those kinds of numbers, just for an 8th grader, it's almost insane. It's really hard to put your arms around and say, how is that possible? But it is. She's just that talented, and she's only going to grow and get better and get stronger.
Here are the starters for Duluth Marshall. It's Ada Scafty, Chloe Johnson, Anna Sari, Mariah Lucero, and Regan Juenemann. For Holy Angels, they're changing things up a bit. Vivian Carter, Anna Delsing, Erin Kennedy, Jenna Buer, and Kiera O'Rourke. You'll see Molly O'Malley and Celia Lind out there as well.
But, you pointed out the balanced attack of this Holy Angels team. I think that's going to be important to offset any of the heroics that Chloe Johnson presents.
Holy Angels 7-7, Duluth Marshall 7-6. Chloe Johnson, I got to see her for the first time as a high school athlete at this gym last year. What a story for Chloe Johnson as well. She is not only a terrific basketball player, she had to do it while working, or I should say, handling obsessive-compulsive disorder. We'll talk a little more about that, but she is an inspiration to a lot of basketball athletes out there.
And you just look at her out there on the court. Look at her size, and she certainly doesn't think, you wouldn't think looking at her that, she's an 8th grader.
I've seen some 7th grade wonders. I remember seeing Addie Mack for the first time, seeing highlights of Madden Greenway. Holy Angels comes up with a steal, and then they throw it away.
Well, there was a little
Marshall,
miscommunication there. Delsing was looking for the pass, and she looked over the wrong shoulder.
So here's what's going to be interesting about this game. Holy Angels, they're balanced, but they don't have that go-to.
Right.
Like Frankie Vassalero was.
Right.
Or Rachel Kowicki, Cassie Karen. Duluth Marshall, outside of Johnson and Juenemann, they don't have a ton of support. So it's going to be interesting to see how that unfolds in this game. Here's a corner 3.
I look at somebody for...
Well, there's Chloe Johnson.
That could be an X factor in this game. That might be number 23, Regan Juenemann, the junior forward.
Juenemann, this is crazy to believe, Alex. She scored 1,000 points in 49 games. That's tied for the 3rd fastest with Addie Mack, Madden Greenway, and Tori Orline. But again, with Chloe Johnson doing what she's doing, Juenemann might get lost in the sauce, but no, I talked to both last year, and they have tremendous respect for each other. Chloe Johnson knocks down both free throws. She's an 83% free throw shooter.
Hilltopper showing some full court pressure.
And Anna Delsing.
The Stars able to break it and get this game leveled.
Anna Delsing delivers the press breaker. Alex, I'm looking at Chloe's numbers. It's like she shoots free throws well. She's a good 3-point shooter. She does everything. Duluth Marshall will be back here on Saturday. They'll take on Minnehaha Academy. That will be a fun battle of 2A teams. We'll get names and numbers as we move along. That's Mariah Lucero looking for Johnson. Has that pristine presence and demeanor about her. Juenemann, the long skip. Johnson, step back three. She shoots 35% from three-point range, so keep an eye out for those perimeter strikes. Traveling call on Juenemann.
Carter had her hands on that rebound but couldn't control it, but nonetheless, Stars with a chance here to poke their nose out in front early on in this contest.
2-2 the score early. I'll be seeing Holy Angels tomorrow if you're watching this. They'll play Cooper in a tri-metro battle. Buer missing the layup. Johnson, she's got the rock. Juenemann, three ball. Long. Offensive rebound by the Hilltoppers, but nowhere to go. And picking it up is Jenna Buer. Is she going to take it all the way? No. Chloe Johnson says, I don't think so. And Johnson happens to lead the team in blocks. Stands 5'11", 6 feet. Started with the Starks Academy AAU team before making the jump to all Iowa attack on their 11th grade team. This is Celia Lind. Again, you're going to see a lot of her, even though she didn't start today. Holy Angels, they've been working with a lot of lineups over the years. Juenemann attacking the baseline. Now Johnson wants the three. It's short. O'Rourke with the rebound. Kennedy. Swish.
Great pass by Kiera O'Rourke. She sees the court so well.
Pass tipped. It's up for grabs. Ada Scafty will get tied up with Celia Lind, and Holy Angels with the arrow. Holy Angels in that brutally tough Section 6, and I say brutal because Delano, even though they haven't played Holy Angels with Benilde St. Margaret's, they're still undefeated.
Yeah.
They could throw a surprise or two, and Benilde St. Margaret's, since Olivia Olson came back, they haven't lost a game. Lind. To Carter. Lind for three. Rebound Scafty. Juenemann to Johnson. Mariah Lucero, the three is long.
Both teams struggling with their three-point shooting thus far in this contest.
And remember, the court 10 feet longer than usual, although for Duluth Marshall, they played a pair of games at St. Cloud. I was going to say St. Cloud State. It's St. Benedict, part of the Granite City Classic. Lost a close one with Becker and had a hard time hanging with Providence Academy. Lind.
Ooh.
Almost got the roll. And Asari brings it up. Here's Johnson, hands it off to Scafty, thought about a three, and she walked. That little stutter step might have cost her there. Lind breaks free and missed the layup. It will stay with Holy Angels because Juenemann got the rebound out of bounds. But Alex, that to me is akin to a wide receiver dropping a potential touchdown pass when they break open.
Yeah.
Those are layups you really want to have. Of course, I say that, and I don't have to worry about making them. I think I'd knock out the scoreboard if I tried, or the shot clock, that is. No, it is. It's tough sometimes, and we have to remember these are athletes, and they are far more than their numbers. Here's a three for Molly O'Malley, and she rattles it in.
O'Malley finally breaks the ice here with that three-point bomb.
Holy Angels off to a 7-2 start. Duluth Marshall gets it across the timeline. Juenemann, the kick out. Scafty for three. Bullseye.
Nice response by Duluth Marshall.
And a foul is called on Holy Angels, or Duluth Marshall. That is the first on Chloe Johnson. Chloe had a bunch of 30-point games last year and is 7th in the state this year in scoring, 28.1. Holy Angels going with the long outlet pass again. O'Rourke couldn't secure it, and now a foul is called.
Well, I tell you, O'Rourke just did a good job just being able to haul that thing in and control it. She was a little far under the basket when she put that shot up.
And that can impact your cadence. I've seen that a lot at this level. If you have just a little bobble, nudge, wobble, it can affect the entire play. Here's Juenemann for three.
Gets the roll. And just like that, the Hilltoppers have pushed their nose out in front.
Threes are starting to fall now. We'll see how that changes the flow of this game, as we have just begun here at St. Catherine. O'Malley. That will be a foul on Duluth Marshall's Morgan Lucero, number 10. Our camera ops see it differently.
Yeah, obviously so.
But that's okay.
Still, O'Malley got herself into a little bit of a fix there when she made that little spin move.
That's okay. We don't always have to agree with what they say, as long as you respect them.
Almost snared that inbounds pass.
O'Malley missing the runner. Scafty brings it up. There's Johnson. Goes cross court to Morgan Lucero. You've got Morgan and Mariah, 10 and 22. Johnson. Charlotte Henry right on top of her. Chloe finds Juenemann. Right idea, but Juenemann got a little too far away for that layup. O'Malley for three. Juenemann with the rebound. Here comes Chloe.
That one's going to go on O'Malley. Well, we've seen brief spurts by both teams, but nothing sustained yet so far, Mike.
And an extended pause. I'm looking at Chloe's numbers. She had 38 points against Crosby Ironton. Her season low was 13 in that 1-point loss to Rock Ridge. Didn't shoot all that well. And this is one of those wild card kind of games. Juenemann for three. Dead ball rebound to Holy Angels. Duluth Marshall in the same section as Crosby Ironton and Pequot Lake, so that is going to be a tough group to get out of. And Holy Angels, we talked about their section.
Yeah.
If you're a fan of section basketball, you've got a couple of tight ones there. Jenna Buer for three. That's long. Johnson with the rebound. Johnson drew the foul again.
That is on Buer, I think, correct?
Yes, that's her first. Whoa.
An errant pass there.
Anna Delsing with the recovery, and she misses. Well, they'll have a chance for free throws. Alex, that's a couple of times now. Holy Angels has whipped a point-blank layup.
Remark on this last one here. I mean, it was a struggle just to control the ball, but finishing on the ultimate deal proved to be a bridge too far. But let's see if they can make amends here at the charity stripe.
Yeah, this is a little unusual. And I know Holy Angels, they've been tinkering, experimenting. They've had to work with some different lineup combinations over the years, but ever since I started covering them, they've had players that were reliable, and these players certainly can get there if they aren't already, but it's going to be a split for Kennedy and Alex. That's a situation where you had a fast break deuce and you have to settle for one.
Yeah, that's a disappointment no matter how you slice it or dice it or cut it.
You want to.
We are leveled, and with defense, at least so far anyway, taking center stage in this one. It probably isn't the end of the world either. And a 10-second call.
Yep, 10-second call. Officials were a little late to signal it, but 10:55 left in the first half. And 8-8 the score. Like you said, Alex, defensively, both teams have kept each other in check. But some of that, again, I look at those misses early.
Yeah.
Those bunnies, I say you always want to make those. And no harm, no foul. Jenna Buer called for traveling. This is one of those games, isn't it? Not a whole lot of flow yet.
Right. It's
been kind of choppy.
Well, I think when you have both teams feeling each other out too, trying to get an idea of what to expect, you can have periods like this.
Here's a three. Not there. Dead ball rebound to Holy Angels. And Alex, this is probably going to be the understatement of the day, if not the season. But whoever can find their rhythm from the floor might have the edge in this one, because neither team hitting shots regularly.
And you mentioned that, Mike, and that's why I tend to like a team that has balance, a la Holy Angels.
They have balance, and again, it's that central presence.
Right.
We saw in Holy Family's case, they have Jocelyn Ladd, maybe not as deep as other teams. Minnehaha, they've got Addie Mack and Angel Hill.
Right.
Those two have delivered more often than not this season. There is no one right way to do it, but again, it's going to be a matter of styles. That could help. Juenemann with the three, Johnson with the assist.
Gets the cobwebs broken off the east basket here at Butler Center. So now let's see if the Stars can get a response here.
And to continue your point, Alex, I've covered teams that won state titles that didn't have one superstar player. Aaron Kennedy drops the floater in. Juenemann, Holy Angels bringing a lot of pressure. Perhaps trying to get Duluth Marshall out of sorts. O'Rourke to Kennedy, looks long. Buer is there for cleanup duty.
I tell you, a tough offensive rebound there by Buer. And those second chance points, especially in a close game, are very critical.
You never know when you'll need them. Here's Juenemann. And she's a junior. I have a feeling she'll be playing college ball somewhere. We know Chloe's going to go somewhere. She's already gotten a few offers. Juenemann saw a lane open up for a moment. Instead, it's a three ball. Morgan Lucero can't knock it in. Extra pass. Oh my goodness. I thought Buer had it, and she went to Delsing.
I did too.
And now Holy Angels just used up their last foul to give. Alex, that's 3 times now by my count where Holy Angels has missed a fast break layup.
You know, here we are at the 8:39 mark of this first half, and already it's been an incredibly strange ball game.
Strange is right. But we never know what will happen. That's why the NFL reigns supreme.
Yeah.
Who would have thought Dallas would lay an egg against Green Bay, for example, and Detroit winning their first game in the playoffs in 32 years? It was mentioned in the broadcast, Alex, of that game. Detroit, the last time they won a playoff game, text messaging hadn't been developed yet.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Carter gets the runner to fall, and Holy Angels, it's been a little choppy, but they are getting the job done, at least from short range.
And the Stars showing some full court pressure there.
They have stayed with it since the beginning of this game. Mariah Lucero in trouble, finds Chloe Johnson. She goes for the runner. Hasn't had too many shooting attempts. Dead ball rebound.
Just even
Holy
the short,
Angels.
medium range shots have been difficult for both teams, but especially for Duluth Marshall.
Keisha Karen checks in the game. Traveling call. Duluth Marshall having some trouble getting their shots to fall consistently. We'll see what happens here. And Chloe Johnson hasn't been much of a factor. Duluth Marshall throws it away.
And again, more struggles by the Hilltoppers with their half-court offense.
I should add, by the way, that Jenna Buer of Holy Angels recently announced her college commitment to Morningside.
Oh,
Celia Lynn scores on the take. There's Chloe.
largest lead of the day by any team at 5.
And Duluth Marshall can't find a way to fix their shooting woes right now. Alex, I think what I've seen here, Chloe Johnson not getting a lot of touches, and that is affecting
I've
the
noticed
Duluth
that
Marshall
she really
offense.
hasn't been a factor yet in this game from on either side of the court. I suspect that'll change at some point, but thus far the Stars doing a pretty good job of keeping her in check, Mike.
6:58 left in the first half. Goodhue and Becker will follow, and then Providence Academy and Champlain Park will play each other. So by the time this day is done, we'll have seen 3 of the state's top 5 scorers. Chloe Johnson in 7th, and she still has 4 years of varsity. She has some strong friendships with her AAU clubmates, including Rachel Hagan, who played at Duluth East. And Rachel was telling me last year, she said, the craziest part about this, Chloe's going to probably have a bunch of scoring records but after I'm done with college. Rachel at
That's
UW.
That's an interesting perspective by someone, you know. That's
Yeah.
But she's probably spot on with that.
Duluth Marshall just doesn't look.
Yeah, they look a little out of sync
Settled
right
right
now.
now.
It's
They are looking
you know,
rattled
you know,
here.
you don't know if it's been the long trip down, possibly. They've got to find a way to settle in, and they simply haven't done that yet. But still, they're only down 5, and we're still early in this ball game.
Lind is fouled. She'll shoot 2. Lind with 11.2 points per game. Holy Angels held their own with De La Salle a couple weeks ago. De La Salle, the toughest ticket in the Tri-Metro. That game against Cretin-Durham Hall CDH nearly had a comeback within them, but Holy Angels executed late. And they are slowly building their lead, which is fine by them, because unless Duluth Marshall can find a way to get their shots to fall, this could be rough seas. Chloe Johnson's three is pure.
Well, perhaps that's the spark that Duluth Marshall needed here in this first half to get things going.
Rebound by Scafty after Aaron Spence couldn't get the baseline bunny to fall. Juenemann, three ball. Rebound will be a tie-up. Holy Angels with the arrow.
You know, if you're Duluth Marshall, I don't think that that's a three you necessarily had to take at that particular point. I think you wanted to work for a higher percentage shot. You're down only four. I don't think you needed the three-point opportunity right there.
O'Malley to Carter. Here's Kiera O'Rourke. Got a step
I tell
and
you,
the finish. That's what Holy Angels needs.
That's what I love about Kiera O'Rourke. She recognized the opportunity, was able to beat her defender off the dribble and finish. Oh,
and O'Rourke follows up with the block.
Authority. Saying, no way, Jose.
I am curious, Alex, if Duluth Marshall can find a way around that press, will that change the game? Because that seems to be one of the issues afflicting them as of now. 5:28 left in the first half. Again, still a whole lot of time. But Duluth Marshall settling for a lot of three-pointers right now.
Well, that's the thing. If they get,
oh boy,
if they get relegated to having to settle for a lot of three-point shots, that's not going to bode well for them in the long run in this contest.
Foul on Holy Angels, and that's going to mean free throws for Duluth Marshall after the miss from Vivian Carter.
Although this might be one of the saving graces, perhaps, here for the Hilltoppers. With 5:01 left here in this first half, getting to chip away from the charity stripe.
And we have to remember, there's still a lot of basketball left.
Oh, yeah.
One and one, and an empty possession after Morgan Lucero missed it. That was the second foul on Molly O'Malley. Lind. Jump ball, Duluth Marshall with the arrow. Chloe Johnson doubled, threw it away. Vivian Carter with a steal and run out. Holy Angels slowly taking command as Duluth Marshall remains stymied against this Holy Angels press. Juenemann wants the three. Scafty saved it.
What a save.
But I'm looking all over, Alex. Duluth Marshall can't find any seam or space to work with. They are trying to make that three ball work, and 8 to shoot now. Juenemann.
And that shot clock is coming down now, under 5.
She sees it, but she's not going to get it off in time.
Well, some indecision there by the Hilltoppers. I tell you what, you got to give some credit where credit's due, Mike. Holy Angels doing a good job on the defensive end.
Lind draws a foul. Lynn made her last 2. Again, 66% free throw shooter.
Now coming in for Holy Angels. You have to wonder, Mike, too, if Holy Angels, Danny Johnson's ability to do that might wear on this Duluth Marshall team over the long term of this game.
For Holy Angels, consistency has been the biggest problem for them this season. And it's an empty possession after Lynn missed both free throws. Pass tipped. Juenemann kicks back out. Another 3. Juenemann will try one. Bullseye. Alex, I still wonder how long Duluth Marshall can keep this up.
Well, that's
if they're settling for 3s all day.
Like I said, the odds were finally going to catch up with Holy Angels on that one. That one of those 3s was going to win. But again, if you're going to be relegated to shooting 3s like Duluth Marshall is right now, that's not going to bode well for you over the long term of this game. Well, let's see, especially if you can get into a transition opportunity here, but Holy Angels gets back on defense.
It will stay with Duluth Marshall, 2:49 to go. Chloe Johnson has just 1 field goal and I think only 1 attempt inside the arc. Everything has been from the outside as Holy Angels still zoning up. And given the flow of this game, I don't blame them right now. Johnson works off the screen. That's what Duluth Marshall needed, but Juenemann was too strong.
One of the few opportunities they've had, like with shots like that, and they still can't get it.
Jenna Buer's 3, not on target. I saw her slide her feet ever so slightly before releasing, trying to square herself up. It's only a 5-point game, Alex.
But it seems like a larger lead than that, doesn't it?
Sometimes, but I hear this a lot, too, when you have games of this nature and you talk about how one team is struggling. Well, 5 points is not much. Another jump ball. Holy Angels with the arrow. We talk about as if it's insurmountable. Of course it isn't. If Duluth Marshall can get a few of those 3s to fall, that's going to change the game.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
So this is one of those situations where, yes, Holy Angels, they've been in command, but it wouldn't take much for the tide to turn. 3 ball. Aaron Kennedy can't bank it in. Juenemann. And 1. There's an example of what I was talking about.
Well, that's, again, the Hilltoppers looking for that spark, something that might help them get on track. With 1:46 left here in this first half, let's see if that might be a spark that gets this game tightened up.
Juenemann can't complete the 3-point play. She does average 19.4 a game. 22-19, though, Duluth Marshall cutting in a little bit. Holy Angels looking to change that. Jenna Buer knocks down her first 3-pointer. So, Alex, this has been a staple all game long from Holy Angels. Pressure up top, trying to zone, but we got the press breaker. And Lucero's on the board. Johnson with the assist, 25-21. Playing for the steal. Didn't work out. O'Rourke to Kennedy for 3. Short this time. Rebound. Not secured by Johnson in time. Buer. Bounce pass to O'Rourke for 3. Duluth Marshall does get the rebound, but they run into more trouble.
Well, 43 seconds here. Here's a big opportunity now for the Hilltoppers to climb back to within a single possession.
Chloe Johnson, no stranger to this kind of competition. Free throws coming, although it's 1-1 for Mariah Lucero, and she hasn't shot all that well from the line this season. That's the second foul on Delsing. And it's an empty possession. Shot clock is off. Holy Angels can hold.
So here we go with the shot clock off. You want to hold on for that last shot.
They'll take one. Nobody on Delsing.
Ooh.
And she'll shoot two. Delsing, 60% free throw shooter, averaging just under 4 a game. Alex, looking forward to the second half, looking ahead, that is, I think it's going to be a matter of which side can get through first. Holy Angels, they've been combining a pressure defense up top and then a zone on sets. That seems to be working out for them.
Yeah.
Time for Duluth Marshall to get a shot off. Chloe Johnson with her handles comes up short. A rough half for Chloe Johnson. Just one field goal, and Holy Angels leads 26-21 over Duluth Marshall.
You know, that last possession by the Hilltoppers is kind of how this first half went from in a nutshell. It's just, they just haven't looked smooth. They haven't looked fluent. They've got to make some adjustments here on offense. We saw them take a lot of ill-advised threes that they probably didn't need to take. They've got some work to do.
They do, but we'll see what happens in the second half. Only a 5-point game. A lot can change. 26-21. This is the St. Catherine Martin Luther King Classic. Twin Cities Sports Broadcasting and a whole lot more. That's what you get from TSB Television. We provide long-lasting digital coverage of your favorite athletes from the preps to the pros. Dazzling moves. Holloman, good if it goes. Yes! Game winners. From James. She's in trouble. Finds James. Toss shot. It goes in. And everything in between. Before we let you go, do you want to say hi to anybody?
Oh, I don't know. That put me on the spot there.
If you want to connect with our audience, visit us at patreon.com/TSB Television or sponsor our coverage through PayPal and Cash App. Thank you for watching. Mike Peden and Alex Nagel back with you at St. Catherine, the Butler Center, where Holy Angels leads Duluth Marshall 26-21 in the St. Catherine MLK Classic. Regan Juenemann has 11 points to lead Duluth Marshall. Chloe Johnson, 5. For Holy Angels, nobody with more than 5. But Alex, the story has been defense. Holy Angels combining the pressure defense up top, zone defense on the other side, and Duluth Marshall, they've hit a few threes, but not enough to make Holy Angels get out of it.
They've really been taken out of their comfort zone by this Holy Angels team. Let's see what adjustments now that they've made here over the halftime break. Let's see if they can be a little more efficient on the offensive end.
Here's Juenemann. Over to Sari. Scafty for 3. Off the heel. Johnson tips the rebound to herself. Juenemann. Bullseye.
Well, that's one way to get yourself back into the thick of things. And the turnover now by Holy Angels. Big chance now for Duluth Marshall.
Juenemann is a 44% three-point shooter, Alex, so she knows how to get it done from long range.
Juenemann hanging out there in the left wing.
Looking to move in, the runner. She's had a little trouble with that. Here's a 17-footer, and that's long. Rebound Scafty. Holy Angels 7-7, Duluth Marshall 7-6. Johnson draws the foul. That is the first on Kiera O'Rourke.
So far, Mike, we haven't seen Chloe Johnson be a real factor, scoring-wise anyway, but again, down only 2, they've been able to survive that.
Just 5 points for Johnson, but she has a few assists. Here's a 3, and that's pure.
Of course, as soon as we say that, look what she does.
Alex, you just applied the reverse jinx.
And with that, Duluth Marshall has now assumed a 1-point lead.
Buer for the answer. Short. Carter missing. Rebound was tipped. Now Buer gets another chance and leaves that one short as well. Johnson looking for driving space. Didn't get it against O'Rourke. Here's another 3 for Holy Angels, and that's short as well. Buer banks in the putback. That gives Holy Angels a 1-point lead. Duluth Marshall in trouble. They're not going to get it across in time.
Well, after a bit of a shaky start here to this second half, nice response by the Stars, and now forcing the 10-second violation as well.
Sorry, used up the dribble prematurely, and that didn't help. That's the second time Duluth Marshall's been hit with a 10-second call. And they had to reset the shot clock to 20, and that's why we paused for a moment. Remember, the shot clock goes back to 20 with turnovers in the front court. Not 35 as it would be in the back court.
Oh, what a move.
Aaron Kennedy.
Kennedy slithering through traffic and finishing off the glass.
Duluth Marshall wants the 3, and they get it.
Over the outstretched arms of Kiera O'Rourke to hit that, no less.
Ada Scafty ties it up at 30. This could pose a problem for Holy Angels in that zone. Johnson gets the block on Kennedy. I think she's drawn about 5 fouls. Chloe Johnson.
Yeah. She had, I mean,
And
and that's one of the traits that you like about a young player like that who knows how to do those kinds of things.
Well, and it's not like she's actively trying to lead her
Right.
body into people. She's just
She knows how to put
taking
herself
a lot
in
of
the right
contact
place at the
Well,
right time.
Remember, again, she played for All Iowa Attack
Well,
midway through last
yeah.
AAU season, the 11th grade team, the top team on the EYBL circuit.
Right.
So you can imagine some of the competition she faced in the second half of the club season. And remember, these are kids from the Duluth area. So for Chloe Johnson, that is a huge travel commitment to go all the way down to Iowa. Scafty trying to hit one from the left corner, cannot, and that will be a dead ball rebound to Holy Angels. Duluth Marshall started the season in the top 10, but they've suffered some setbacks along the way that have pushed them down in the rankings. Again, I think they still need some more pieces. It's a bit like Concordia Academy and Yvonne Tensaye. Here's Lynn for 3. That's short. And the rebound bounces over to Morgan Lucero. Sense the defense coming up from behind. Johnson. Long skip. Ooh, a little too long. Those cross-court skips always have that element of danger about them. Lynn, short on the take. Both teams have back-to-backs. Duluth Marshall will go to Ely. Holy Angels will play Robbinsdale Cooper. And Duluth Marshall comes back in the Metro on Saturday to play Minnehaha Academy.
That should be an interesting one.
Chloe Johnson and Addie Mack. Those two have had an annual series over the last few years. We're even at 30. Juenemann. She's got some handles. Chloe Johnson does as well. Juenemann fires the three. Won't connect that time.
Well, Juenemann certainly hasn't been bashful behind the arc. She just hasn't always been able to connect.
Juenemann does have 4 3-pointers, but you're right, not a whole lot of consistency. O'Rourke draws the foul. She'll shoot 2.
You know, one thing you have to really appreciate and really like about O'Rourke is that she's really the calmer of this team. And I think if you asked head coach Danny Woods of Holy Angels, he'd probably say the same thing. You know, she gets her teammates involved, and she really helps keep this team on a level. And that's one thing that I think you really have to appreciate about O'Rourke.
O'Rourke, an 84% free throw shooter, averaging 11.9 a game. Splits there. So Holy Angels holds the lead for now, 31-30. Again, Duluth Marshall looking for the press breaker. Juenemann drew the foul and will get the shooting motion.
On Carter.
Juenemann.
That's only her first.
Got 1,000 points last year. It's conceivable she could get to 2,000 before her high school career is through. Had 33 points in the win over Grand Rapids. And she's a solid free throw shooter as well.
Perhaps more importantly, though, now for Holy Angels, that's their 3rd team foul.
Something to keep an eye on. Now, Holy Angels does go deep into the rotation. Juenemann makes both free throws. She only had 3 points in the loss to Providence Academy. I think that was a big factor in that 35-point runaway win for the Lions. Holy Angels swings it around. That's a bump and a blocking foul on Scafty. $12:18 left in the second half.
Over at the scoring table, a lot of current St. Kate's players there. Greta Shimnowski is over there. This is Sydney Elliott.
And that's typical. Hamlin does the same thing with their Thanksgiving tip-off. Usually they get the...
They had an exciting win here on
players.
Saturday over St. Ben's. Hattie Fox hitting that dramatic three-pointer behind the arc to force the overtime where the Cats prevailed.
Traveling call on Holy Angels. Speaking of dramatics, on Saturday, Alex, you might have seen this. Jade Hill at St. Thomas.
I saw that.
A 3-point buzzer beater.
I saw that. 2 buzzer beaters on the same side of town on the same day, same afternoon.
Well, both St. Thomas, the men's and women's programs, have found a way to transition into D1. Chloe Johnson's 3, not there. Once again, Alex, more 3-point shooting out of Duluth Marshall. They haven't really gone inside a whole lot. Celia Lynn for 3, in and out. Juenemann with the rebound. Gets around a couple defenders. Tried to lob it. Race to the ball. Johnson gets there first. Juenemann. Short.
And again, we see Duluth Marshall kind of reverting back to where they were in that first half, putting up a lot of three-point shots that I don't think they need to necessarily settle for.
Holy Angels couldn't get the fast break layup, though, and I think, Alex, that's been the story of this game. Another 3.
That's 3 in a row.
Sorry sneaks up from behind for the takeaway and floats in the bunny. That is what I think Duluth Marshall's been missing.
Well, perhaps in an unplanned fashion, but sorry there, connects. You wouldn't know it, but Duluth Marshall right now has a 3-point lead.
Well, I think one reason for that, going back to a point, I feel like I'm beating this to death, but Holy Angels, they've missed a lot of point-blank looks. Fast breaks.
Right.
There were 3 where they were wide open and they couldn't get it to go through,
Right.
and those are buckets you want to have. O'Malley at the line, trying to get a couple points in the Holy Angels side. Again, Holy Angels held their own with De La Salle and then beat Fridley. Now, Brandy Washington wasn't available for Fridley at that game, so that might have affected the rhythm a bit. Henry makes both free throws. Has done well from the line. This is, well, not the kind of game I was expecting. Those are always dangerous, but Duluth Marshall able to retrieve.
Carter smelled that one all the way, but couldn't get it.
Juenemann tips the rebound to Sari, and it's a fresh 20 for the Hilltoppers. You hear the countdown. Lucero, too far underneath.
And too much traffic. Oh,
Johnson.
My goodness, what a steal by Chloe Johnson. It bounced it off her foot.
And she couldn't go get it.
Almost gets it back anyway. She's got those long arms, that long reach. She can create a lot of havoc by getting into those passing lanes.
That's what the greats do, though.
Yeah.
Olivia Olson, Paige Beckers.
Absolutely.
It hasn't been a great shooting game for Chloe Johnson. But what do you do when you don't have the ball? When you don't have control?
Right.
And Johnson is helping out in that aspect. As we've got ourselves a tight one. Another putback for the Stars of Holy Angels. That's Vivian Carter.
I tell you what, strong move by O'Rourke into the paint, going into traffic. Couldn't finish, but the offensive rebound gives the lead back to Holy Angels.
9:09 to go. This originally wasn't going to be the matchup. Holy Angels was asked if they could switch opponents, and here we are. Game where a whole lot of bizarre incidents have occurred, and
I don't know what Sari was thinking on that one. I don't know if she saw somebody who maybe she thought was going to be there, and obviously it didn't work.
no. I think she wants that play back. Buer for 3.
Oh,
bullseye.
Huge.
Here comes the full court press again. Johnson thought about it. Another 3 for Juenemann.
Oh,
It's Vivian Carter.
Carter
Who hits a
again.
mid-range pull-up.
And all of a sudden, a 6-point lead now by Holy Angels.
And again, Duluth Marshall settling for outside shots against this Holy Angels zone. Now Juenemann sees a driving lane and draws the foul.
Smart play by Juenemann, taking the ball to the hole, initiating the contact, and getting a chance now to narrow the gap a little bit here at the charity stripe. But this, again, is where you have to make the most of these opportunities here at the charity stripe when other things aren't working.
Juenemann hit her first 2 free throws, and I wouldn't say this is a revelation because Duluth Marshall Holy Angels have had a few games into the season, but you have to wonder if future opponents, especially in Section 7, will pick up a few pointers on this on how to contain Duluth Marshall.
They watch film.
Well, everyone can with Huddle. We've got a timeout, 7:44 to go in the second. Juenemann with 18 points, but she's the only one in any kind of sync for Duluth Marshall. Chloe Johnson, again, just not able to penetrate inside.
Well, here's the thing, what I was just going to point out about Johnson. She's one of those, even as a young player, with her skill set, she has that unique ability to take over games. And I think, here at the 7:44 mark of the second half, this is where I think you would hope that Johnson may somehow be able to unleash those skills, because they really haven't been able to get anything consistent on the offensive end.
7:44 to go, and if you hit your threes, it's a different story, but
right.
I don't feel they've hit enough of them, and Johnson not able to get any kind of touches on the inside.
Well, and the other thing too, I think now you have to wonder, up by 4 at this point, if Holy Angels' depth is going to start becoming a factor in this game.
Here's a deep 3 for Lind. It's short. Juenemann will wait to run a set.
Well, I tell you what, I don't think Kiera O'Rourke gets enough credit for her defense. I mean, we saw her with a resounding thud here in that first half, and there was another one right there. She just has that length, and she can really swat away opportunities for opponents.
Oh boy.
Well,
wow. I don't know why, Alex. Maybe it's just instinctive. Every time someone takes a 3-pointer behind the college line, I wince because I'm thinking, you don't have to go back that far, right? But worked out for Mariah Lucero. Chloe Johnson gets another assist.
Oh.
And there's the aforementioned Kiera O'Rourke who finds a lane in.
I tell you, and she's really the quiet leader of this team. Keeps her team calm. Gets her teammates in the right position.
Here's another 3. That one looked a little tough. That will be a foul on Chloe Johnson. So it's Holy Angels ball. Keisha Karen's got it. They have a chance to pick up a win here as they try to assert themselves as a contender in Section 6-3A. Catch and shoot 3 for Lind, goes in and out. Scafty gets the rebound. Trying to find a ball handler. They've got one in Morgan Lucero. Here comes the zone again. Oh, Scafty found a space to attack.
Well, I tell you what, she saw that opening, and she didn't waste any time either.
They've been few and far between, so I don't blame her. Scafty averaging 6.3 points per game.
And a chance now to get this game level, Mike, with 5:41 left here in regulation.
Well, it's been a tight one throughout.
And she does.
But that's what Duluth Marshall was missing, some inside presence. They get one there, and we're even at 42.
Uh-oh.
Juenemann nearly poked it away. And now a foul on Juenemann. That last foul on Holy Angels was their last to give, so keep that in mind with 5:26 to go. And that's the fourth on Juenemann, and Duluth Marshall just doesn't have the depth.
That might be decision time now.
I don't know if you can chance it if you're Duluth Marshall.
Yeah, really.
Because I just don't know if they have the personnel. Chance taking down Juenemann, that is. She's the only one that's been in any kind of rhythm. Who's the foul on? Is it Karen? Yes.
Yeah.
They called her on the trip. So 1-and-1 time. Reminder that Goodhue and Becker will follow. And Lucero gets on the board. Morgan averaging just under 7 a game, 4 of 6 from the line. Alex, as hard as it is to believe, Duluth Marshall in front again.
Well, I know. I was just going to say the same thing.
It hasn't been a pretty game, but this is the hallmark of a contender.
But you know,
and that's the last foul to give for the Hilltoppers.
Here's the thing that we found out about Holy Angels the last time we covered them here about a month ago. You know, this isn't a team that panics. They stay calm. They know how to do. They know what they have to do when they have to do it. This is not a team that's going to break out the proverbial panic button anytime soon.
We saw that with Cretin-Durham Hall. Amidst that comeback bid that came up a bit short. Buer for 3. Short. Rebound. Juenemann. She's got Mariah Lucero. Does she have the speed? She does not. Chloe Johnson draws the foul. And a chance to shoot free throws.
Chloe Johnson, those long arms, was right there.
Now, this will not be one of her strongest performances. Hold up. They had to reset the... No, that was the 5th foul on Jenna Buer. That's why they had to stop play. So Buer is fouled out of the game, and she'll finish with 10. And that hurts Holy Angels a bit, Alex. I know they've got the depth, but that's one of
just
your...
the thing.
That's one of your
right.
big three-point shooters. And now she's not available. So Johnson will try again. She has a pet gecko named Gizmo, and, well, that might have inadvertently iced Johnson in this one-possession game. Chloe Johnson, her season low was 13 against Rockridge. We've got a timeout with 4:43 to go. This might be her new one, but Duluth Marshall in front thanks to Regan Juenemann.
Yeah.
Jenna Buer out of the game. Remember, Juenemann has 4 fouls, though, so it's not clear sailing yet for the Hilltoppers of Duluth Marshall.
Not by any stretch. And again, you point out the depth factor. Again, what I like about this Holy Angels team is that when you have somebody like Kiera or Rourke out there who's really, again, really the calm of this team and who knows how to put her teammates in the right position. And you watch her out there. She talks to her teammates and she tells them where to be, what they need to do. That's the kind of floor general that I'm sure that head coach Danny Woods really appreciates.
45-42. Jenna Buer fouled out. had a couple of threes, so we'll see how that impacts the game for Duluth Marshall. They've been doing this with mostly a 6-player rotation. One of their primary contributors, Pearl Swanson, not playing. I saw her in street clothes, and that might be impacting Duluth Marshall as well. The Hilltoppers, again, they remind me of other teams like Concordia Academy of years past, where you've got a couple of big names. Everyone else is trying to get up to speed. But this is a big turn of events here. And we still have some big games ahead. Goodhue and Becker should be a fun one. That's a baseline jumper, and Anna Delsing swishes it through.
Nice response by the Stars there.
45-44. Go ahead.
Getting the high percentage shot, Mike.
Oh, that's not what you wanted to do. No, a double dribble call.
Oh, wow.
I thought that was a foul initially. I didn't see the double dribble, but the officials did.
That's why they're down there and we're up here.
Yes. But Duluth Marshall, they've had a few unforced errors. Holy Angels, I think their biggest problem has been missing a lot of shots down low that could have helped them build a big lead, but they have a chance to take it here. 4 to shoot. Johnson had the initial block. Lind had to throw a shot in stride. Scafty, that three is short. It was last touched by Lind. 3:42 to go. Crunch time. Alex, this is like the last game.
Yeah.
With Holy Family and Cloquet. It's going to be a barometer on who can come through in crunch time. Both teams have been in their share of close ones.
If you're Duluth Marshall, that's who you want to have running things with their hands on the ball.
8 to shoot. Juenemann.
Here she
to Lucero. Off the rim. Well, the Angels looking for the go-ahead three. They don't get it. They've had some success on putbacks, though, and they missed 2 of them. They missed 2 and then commit the foul. Alex, that has been the biggest obstacle all game long for Holy Angels.
It really has. Delsing came over on that last rebound and got a piece of Lucero. So
that's the third on Delsing. This is 1-1. So keep that in mind. But Alex, there were 2 looks from point-blank range. Morgan Lucero has not made a single field goal all game. All of her points have come at the line, but these are big ones here.
And she delivers.
Duluth Marshall, 12 of 16. 3-point lead for the Hilltoppers.
Ooh, dangerous pass there. Oh, I
Rourke
tell you what, Kiera Rourke
hasn't scored a lot. And the foul's on Juenemann, so she's out of the game.
That's huge. With 2:58 left, you lose one of your primary offensive weapons. But again, Kiera O'Rourke coming through in the clutch, and a chance now for the 3-point play, and she delivers as well, and we're leveled at 47, Mike.
And I think that loss with Juenemann, she's fouled out of the game. This could be the opportunity for Holy Angels because that's one of your primary ball handlers. Chloe Johnson hasn't done well. And there Morgan Lucero commits the traveling call. This is not unlike what happened with Mountain Iron Buell and the loss to Goodhue. Jordan Zubich fouled out of the game.
Yep.
Once Goodhue got locked in, Mountain Iron Buell just didn't have the personnel.
I'm a little surprised that Duluth Marshall didn't get the ball in the hands of Chloe Johnson on that last possession.
2.5 to play, tie game. But I think Holy Angels can throw down the hammer here if they want to. Carter couldn't get the post up. Johnson, she's in trouble.
Gets out of it.
Remember, the 5-second call does not apply to dribbles anymore.
Ooh.
Johnson misses the 15-footer.
Well,
Jump
arrow.
ball. Holy Angels with the arrow, so
Yeah.
that doesn't affect things for now. Lind, too strong, but a lot of coverage inside.
Oh,
Holy Angels
wow.
hits the 3. Anna Delsing scores.
Delsing with a huge 3 there. And now the pressure clearly on the Hilltoppers.
Holy Angels sent 4 to the backcourt. Johnson swings it around. Sorry's 3, not there.
Chloe Johnson right there for the offensive rebound, but can't get it to go.
Just hasn't been her game.
And there she is again. Kiera O'Rourke in the right place at the right time. And now a chance to consolidate here at the charity stripe. Ooh.
O'Rourke missing the front end of a 1-and-1, and Duluth Marshall still has a chance. Johnson hits the step-back jumper, so that gets her to 11.
Great job by Johnson with that step back, getting enough space to put up that tough jumper.
And now Duluth Marshall can play for a stop. Holy Angels will take a timeout, 43.7. Holy Angels cannot hold here. Duluth Marshall can get the stop. Alex, what do you draw up in this situation if you're Holy Angels?
You know, with the foul situation the way it is right now, I think you want to take a chance in getting the shot clock down, you know, working the ball around, and then taking that daring drive to the hole to see if you can draw the foul. I think that's the high percentage opportunity, if you're head coach Danny Woods, that you're probably looking for.
50-49 in a game that has featured a strange set of twists, turns, developments. Duluth Marshall had some difficulties getting inside all game long against the zone. Holy Angels, we talked about all the point-blank looks they've missed, and that's why we're in a tight game. But Holy Angels can perhaps seal it if they can execute well here. So all of those miscues, they won't matter if you can get the job done here. And you're not going to have a perfect game. Sometimes they're ugly, but this is what refines you.
Yep.
Builds the character. But Holy Angels cannot hold here. Both teams in the bonus for what it's worth. Here is a chance.
Ooh.
Anna Delsing missed badly. Duluth Marshall will take a timeout. Shot clock is off, and if Duluth Marshall draws a foul, it would be 2 free throws automatically. I had a situation a couple games ago on Saturday, Alex, with Byron and New Ulm, where Byron fouled up 3. I think that's how it was, that matchup. You're up 1, so I don't know if you want to foul in this situation.
Yeah,
you probably don't want to.
I would agree. I would agree.
So who's going to get the ball? Johnson
Johnson's
is going to draw the bulk of the coverage.
Yeah. But, you know, and that's obviously where Danny Woods is going to put the most attention on. So, you know, Duluth Marshall may not have that luxury. If you can't get Chloe Johnson open, then I think you're going to have to settle for either Lucero.
Ada Scafty has a couple threes.
Right.
Morgan Lucero hasn't made a field goal all game.
And
Mariah has a couple.
That's where the absence of Juenemann
I was going to
comes
say, this is where you really want Juenemann because they don't have the personnel yet. They've had some strong teams over the years. Gianna Needkins, of course, including that 67-point state tournament game in the quarterfinals. So Chloe Johnson, again, seeing her share of tumultuous moments like this with all Iowa attack last summer. This is nothing new. Duluth Marshall, they've been in some close ones. 1-point losses to Becker, Rockridge, and Superior.
So here we go.
They're hoping they don't incur what would be their 4th loss by 1. Who will it be? Scafty. All right, we'll do this again. 20.8 on the clock.
I think he had to burn one.
Scafty was in trouble.
Because she was in trouble, and he didn't really want to have to burn it, but still not that much harm done, but maybe kind of changes up the complexion of things here.
So Duluth Marshall, this would be, if the score holds, it would be their 4th loss by 1 point and their 3rd in the last 4. But we have to find out what happens on this possession, and anything can happen. On the Holy Angels side, if you're curious, they had a 1-point win over Burnsville. They beat Shakopee by 3. Lost to Orono. Initially, I thought that was a bit of a surprise, but then Orono beat Alexandria. So Orono not the pushover I thought they were going to be, and they're in Section 6 too. So now you've got Orono and the win over Alexandria on the Holy Angels side. And then De La Salle, they played close, weren't able to get it done there. They've been right there, even though they don't have that superstar player like they did in years past. But they got to get a stop here. Chloe Johnson will inbound it with 20.8 on the clock. She's got the ball, remember, double bonus if Duluth Marshall draws the foul.
And there is that foul.
There it is. There was a push. And so now it's on Morgan Lucero. She'll get 2 free throws with 15.9. Lucero has made her first 4. That ties it up. Morgan's nickname is No Buckets. I think they might have to rewrite that here.
Gets both of them. So here we go now.
No buckets, more like big buckets, big free throw buckets, that is. 15 seconds to go. Holy Angels down by 1. Looking for the 3. Now O'Rourke draws the blocking foul, and she'll shoot 2.
Well, guess who?
And we still have 8.4 seconds left. O'Rourke has had some difficulties. These are 2 big ones, Alex.
No doubt about it.
Ooh. O'Rourke, an 84% free throw shooter, misses a big one. Eight seconds. Johnson has it. Trying to break open.
4 seconds.
She's not going to get it off.
Nope.
I don't think Chloe was aware of the clock.
I don't think she was aware. I don't know if she didn't see the scoreboard, but I don't think she was aware of how much time was left on that clock. But in any event, to the extra session we go.
Overtime. My first overtime game this year.
It's bound to happen at some point.
And what a strange game to have an overtime deal.
Well, and what's even stranger is that coming off the heels of that incredible game that between St. Kate's and St. Ben's on Saturday on this very floor.
So here's how the overtime procedures work if you're new to high school hoops. We play 4 minutes. Fouls carry over. Each team gets an additional timeout. Regan Juenemann, fouling out of the game for Duluth Marshall. Jenna Buer, she's out of the game for Holy Angels, and Becker and Goodhue will have to wait just a little bit longer. 51-51 the score. Chloe Johnson held to 11 points, really hasn't been able to get going today. And I don't know who this favors, Alex, because I thought Holy Angels might run away with it after Juenemann fouled out, but they missed a few chances to close out.
I still think the depth factor for Holy Angels could prove to be the deciding factor in this extra session. We'll find out.
4 minutes. Holy Angels gets the arrow. Remember, each team gets one timeout. An additional one, that is. That's a long two. Carter can't knock it down.
Goodness.
O'Rourke drew the foul.
I tell you what, regardless of the outcome of this game, Mike, and maybe I'm a bit biased, but O'Rourke is my player of this game. She's just been all over. More importantly, she's been in the right places at the right times in this contest. Just hasn't been always able to deliver at the charity stripe.
And it's a little bizarre. She's shooting 84% and has left a few at the line. Holy Angels 10 of 17. But Chloe
Here we
Johnson.
see again more full court pressure.
Well, Holy Angels, they're not going to back away from that now. Johnson doubled. Has to get rid of it. 1 point lead for Holy Angels in this extra session. 8 to shoot. Scafty doubled again. That zone really taking away shooting space. And Duluth Marshall will have 2 seconds to get rid of it.
2 seconds to operate, too. So you're going to have to try and get somebody open here, and it's Johnson.
Holy Angels. I think this is where they could really open things up here.
Oh.
Celia Lynn got a wide open lane. Holy Angels will put more pressure up top.
Again, that's where I think the depth factor for Holy Angels is paying off right now.
And Duluth Marshall just hasn't been able to find a way around this defensive coverage. Chloe Johnson, hasn't been a good game for her.
Oh.
Aaron Kennedy sinks the jumper. That might be
Dagger there
enough.
by Kennedy.
That might be enough. I just haven't seen a lot out of Duluth Marshall to suggest they have another comeback within them, but Chloe Johnson puts back her own miss to make it a 3-point game.
Gave you a little bit of a demonstration of her true athletic ability with that one.
She's had to work for those 13 points, however. But that's a big bucket. Both teams in the double bonus. And that's a foul.
And what a smart play by O'Rourke.
O'Rourke will shoot 2. That's the 4th on Morgan Lucero. O'Rourke, again 2 free throws the rest of the way. O'Rourke is up to 12.
And Holy Angels making life extremely difficult for this Duluth Marshall team in this extra session.
I tell you the same thing, but I feel like I'd be repeating myself. This has been the same approach, the same coverage Holy Angels have thrown at Duluth Marshall all game.
Yep.
Scafty's three is short. Johnson got the rebound and will go to the line. That will give Duluth Marshall a chance to score with the clock stopped.
Well, at least a chance here now for the Hilltoppers to get back to within a single possession to give yourself, at least a fighting chance here.
And with this game running along, we'll probably go right to our next game. Goodhue and Becker. Chloe Johnson, again, not her best game, but all the greats are going to have these moments, whether they're in the making or at the college and pro level. Paige, Beckers, Olivia Olson, Madden Greenway, they've all had games where they left something.
Things don't always go right.
Right, and it's not going to in a sport like this. It's not going to be like the Packers-Cowboys game where Green Bay could find receivers all day. You're going to have moments like this. How do you handle that adversity?
Yep,
and
exactly.
For Chloe, I think I've seen enough out of her to suggest that she'll be all right.
Anybody who has played competitive sports has faced those kinds of moments. I know I have.
Johnson makes both free throws, but Duluth Marshall needs a stop here. Playing a man. Holy Angels using up some clock. A bucket here would do it. 10 to shoot. Lind a little out of control. Duluth Marshall, they got to go.
Well, if you're Duluth Marshall, here's where you probably have to roll the dice. Down 3.
The three,
Oh, wow. I thought she got all ball on that.
I did too.
Wow.
From up here, it looked like it was a clean block.
That's what I thought too.
That is not the case.
Well, now.
Well, Dan Woods, if he's feeling some kind of way about it, you wouldn't know.
There's one.
Scafty.
Danny Woods wants to talk about it.
Well, probably to discuss what to do.
Right.
2 more free throws coming for Scafty. Well, Alex, just when we thought there couldn't be any more unusual or perplexing moments, you get fouled on a 3-point shot.
Yeah. Well, now let's remember, she still has
2 more.
She has to complete the deal here to get this game leveled. So, let's not get ahead of ourselves. But assuming if she does, that obviously changes the dynamics of this one.
32.1. You never know what you'll find when we do these matchups, but to see this kind of ebb and flow,
yeah,
it feels like both teams, more so Holy Angels, I feel like they've been the better team, but there have been moments where it just hasn't come together the way you would expect it to.
I think they've been more efficient, not by a large stretch, but more efficient on the offensive end.
I think they won't have any time to practice because they have a game tomorrow, but I think if you look back in this film, you probably work on how to finish down low. That's where I feel they left a lot of points.
So anyway.
So Ada Scafty, who's shooting 70%, has 2 more. Remember, she was fouled on a 3-point shot.
Gets that one. One more.
One more and she ties it. Can you do that?
Yes, I
guess
think
so.
I think in these situations you can.
I didn't know if you could call consecutive timeouts. If this is an ice the shooter or... I've never seen that happen. I guess if you have more than one, you can.
Yeah, I think when you have more than one, you can do that in that kind of a situation. But now, if you're Holy Angels, now you've got to figure out, okay, what are we going to do on this next possession here?
And I mentioned Dan Woods not showing a whole lot of emotions or reaction to that foul call.
No,
remember, he's been around a long time, was recently inducted into the Coaches Hall of Fame, so he's seen a lot.
Yeah.
between his football and basketball coaching.
Yep.
He doesn't get
too worked up either way.
Well, he won't. Like, he knows how many times has he been in this situation.
Yeah.
Here we go.
So
Scafty
like
gets
that,
all 3 of those. Now Holy Angels can hold for the last shot. Both teams in the double bonus. And I think Holy Angels is out of timeouts now. Do you go early, give yourself a second chance? Do you wait for the last shot, try to play for double OT? If it doesn't go in, we'll find out.
Coming down on 10 seconds here now.
Lind, O'Rourke, she's come up with some big drives. Oh boy, no! Johnson, will she get it off in time?
I don't think she did. Wow.
That's the second time Johnson has lost track of the clock.
I'll give her the benefit of the doubt, given her youth and relative inexperience. But in any event,
she has come up clutch more often than not. Let's be clear.
Yes.
I am not. Don't take this as a
no
derogatory statement on her playmaking. It's just it's just another complicated layer in what has been a strange game. Everything that you come to expect.
Going into a second extra session here, that even makes it even more strange.
Now I think Duluth Marshall has 2 timeouts and Holy Angels has 1. Robin and Abe were joking about which one I was torturing more. I have a feeling I might be the one now. I'm putting you 2 through this double overtime game.
Well, we've definitely
58-58. Oh, Robin brought up the Como game
of a big treat.
Robin brought up the Como Matamidi game. She was in that. He was. I
was there.
We were both there. Abe was there too. Fortunately, the Como games haven't been 2 hours long since then. All right, Alex, 58-58. We got to do this again.
Well, again, Duluth Marshall, when things looked absolutely dire for them, found a way. Can they do it again?
And
if you're Holy Angels, can you use your strengths to capitalize here in this extra session? Again, the depth factor. Does it pay off here?
Lynn missing. Holy Angels does retrieve it. Oh pass went off the rim.
We have seen some strange things in this game.
On Saturday, I think, Saturday, I saw a player pass the ball. It goes off the rim, and then she took it in herself.
Jeez.
So I guess I've seen stranger.
Oh,
this is the weirdest game I have seen this season. Well, and remember that foul when Scafty shot a 3 put us in this double overtime situation. The ice the shooter strategy didn't work. Scafty's 3 doesn't fall. Both teams in the double bonus. 58 all. Here's a 3.
Well, she ran out of real estate there.
And now you wonder if fatigue is starting to set in. I know Holy Angels has the deeper rotation.
That's another factor too that we haven't taken
couple of threes,
really taken into consideration here.
We had 2 threes and they didn't touch rim. Well, double overtime at the Butler Center. Stepping into the 3. That was Lucero, and I think folks are, I don't want to say desperate, but I feel a little more of that.
If you're Duluth Marshall, this is where I think you want to give Chloe Johnson the opportunity to try and take over.
Holy Angels looking for a 3. That rims out. There's Johnson with the rebound. She's got an open player. It's Anasari on the outlet and the finish. Duluth Marshall takes the lead. And Chloe Johnson spotted Sorry. Like I said, those clock management situations, maybe a little tune-up is needed there, but she spotted Sorry, got the outlet pass to her. That's for 2. And that's offline.
Big opportunity now for Duluth Marshall. See if Chloe Johnson can work her magic.
Sorry, the elbow J is there.
She does.
Anna Sari had 2 points up until now. Holy Angels throws it away.
Well, I don't think either of us saw the bottom falling out for Holy Angels, given the way things seem to be going.
2:03 to go, though, so Holy Angels not out of this yet. They still have a chance. But Duluth Marshall, it looked like they were dead to rights when Juenemann fouled out. Clutch free throw shooting has kept them in it, and now Chloe Johnson will shoot two. Alex, Anna Sari had 2 points until the second overtime, and she hits back-to-back buckets.
Well, I tell you what, sometimes some of the unlikeliest characters come up big in the biggest situations.
Like we said, it's crunch time. And Chloe Johnson, we were saying before, the clock management maybe not a strong suit today, late in the second,
Right.
and late in overtime. But remember, she got the rebound, found Sari leaking out. This is why Chloe Johnson is getting so much praise, so much attention. It's not always the points, it's all the other intangibles. And Duluth Marshall with their largest lead of the game.
And now the Stars with the unenviable task of trying to bring this one back when they looked like they had this one all but wrapped up. And
Dead ball rebound to Duluth Marshall.
Holy Angels mistake.
And I've noticed on the three-point shots, Alex, they're missing everything. You do wonder if that fatigue is creeping in. Johnson. Duluth Marshall had a couple of timeouts. They'll use one here in a game that, I don't know, might rival Como Matamidi in length, but there's a little more. It was the fouling in that one.
Just the way this one unfolded has made this one incredibly unique.
No, the flow is much better, but it feels, in one way, it's like that game. A lot of us were here for that one, but how about this? What would it say about Duluth Marshall, though? We were mentioning 3 losses by 1 point this year.
Yeah.
And it looked like they were in that position again. Morgan Lucero hit a couple of big free throws at the end of regulation. Ada Scafty, she got fouled, and the ice the shooter strategy didn't pan out. She hits all 3. We get a second overtime. What would it say about their resilience and their evolution if they can hold on for this win?
Resilience, and I think also, too, when you get yourself in those kinds of situations over and over again, eventually the law of averages are going to work in your favor. And this may be the case right here with this Hilltopper team that appeared to be all but dead and buried going down the final stretches of regulation. But and here's the thing. I obviously the onus, if this one finishes out the way you kind of think it will, the onus is going to fall on Holy Angels for not finishing. I mean, if you're going to have to learn hard lessons, you want to learn them in January and not February and March.
Chloe Johnson gets it across. Now, it's not a done deal yet. A late foul. And you're going to send someone to the line who has been perfect. Morgan Lucero, again, didn't have a lot of attempts, so really tough to gauge the numbers, but Lucero, she's made all 6. That's the 3rd foul on O'Rourke. And now Holy Angels will take their timeout.
O'Rourke, I've praised her all game long. She's had a pretty solid game from start to finish, but
she missed a couple of freebies.
The couple freebies were obviously huge.
Well, Alex, this would apply no matter who wins. You got to win the ugly ones.
Yeah.
Those are the hallmark of a contender.
Yeah.
And for Duluth Marshall, we're talking about how big this would be for them. Oh, look at this. Pearl Swanson and number 1, Gabby Pifo, the 8th grader, having a little fun there. It felt like the pressure was on them when Regan Juenemann fouled out. It didn't look like anyone else was really up to the task.
Yeah.
So for Duluth Marshall to get this done without their floor leader,
it'll be
would be a huge step forward.
Shot of confidence in the arm for Duluth Marshall. to complete the deal here and get a win in probably one of the most unlikeliest situations you could ever draw up.
That's why predictions are just that. They are not prophecy. They are not gospel. You got to play, and you never back down. You got to keep going.
Until the fat lady sings.
Well, you got to keep pushing. Morgan Lucero, no field goals, but by my count, Alex, 8 of 8 from the free throw line. Molly O'Malley for 3. Off the heel.
We saw her come up big early on in this contest, but not now, unfortunately, for Holy Angels. And a chance now for Duluth Marshall to apply the finishing touches.
Well, they're up by 8. I think they've got this wrapped up. They're going to back off now. Eat up time. There's Johnson.
And precious time is now ticking away for Holy Angels.
10 to shoot. Duluth Marshall playing the clock. Johnson. Well,
but
if you're going to take a shot clock violation, that's the time.
If you're Duluth Marshall, that's okay. Most important objective there was to burn clock, and they did, and make life more miserable now for Holy Angels. And you're down 8 with 30 seconds left. That's a tall task ahead of you.
Another timeout with 30 seconds to go. I don't know if Duluth Marshall was intending for a shot clock violation, but like you said, it burned off 35 seconds.
Yeah, I think that was their number one overall objective there. Let's see how much time we can, milk here, and they did.
66-58. By the way, with Chloe Johnson, her story was featured a few years ago, and basketball served as her vessel. I talked to her last year, and she said one day she wants to write a novel about her journey. For anyone that is dealing with some type of mental condition, disability, it's finding that vessel, that pathway that maybe doesn't get you out of it per se, but gives you a way to channel that energy. It has for Chloe Johnson.
I think that's really cool. I mean, it's really cool for her to do something like that. It's brave step by that young lady.
She is a well-respected figure in the Duluth area. "20 seconds left. Still
Lynn
Holy Angels ball,
but walk on that one.
Still Holy Angels ball, and another timeout.
Yeah. The string of lifelines is slowly but surely running out now for the Stars. But here's the important thing, as I mentioned earlier. If you have to learn a hard lesson like this is the time of year that you want to learn it, not in late February or early March. You want to take your lessons from this game and learn from them. Put this one in the rear view mirror and get ready for the next one.
Well, Holy Angels, again, they have a few more tough games ahead of them. They end the regular season at Providence Academy, so they are going to get quite the tune-up before sections. And their section has 3 teams with big resumes. Delano, undefeated. Orono getting that big win over Alexandria. And Benilde St. Margaret's with Olivia Olson back in the mix. This is going to help them, but you wonder, Alex, those missed layups throughout the game. Kiera O'Rourke missed a couple of free throws that would have won it. "20 seconds to go. 66-58. Steal by Sari, not quite.
She stepped up big in the late going.
That 3 doesn't drop in. Johnson gets the rebound, and that will do it. She can run out the clock now. And Duluth Marshall,
in the unlikeliest fashion,
steals a win in the most unimaginable way possible.
Definitely one of the strangest games I've ever done personally.
Regan Juenemann fouled out. It looked like Duluth Marshall's chances for victory were extinguished. And thanks to some clutch free throws,
Well, let's
66-58 the final. They get the win.
And let's not forget about Anna Sari, some of her big shots in the extra session.
And Morgan Lucero, 8 of 8 from the line. Chloe Johnson hit a bunch of free throws late as well. Our game ran long, so we're going to get right to our next game, Goodhue and Becker, as we continue our coverage of the St. Catherine MLK Classic here at the Butler Center. Duluth Marshall wins 66-58.